Hi, my name is Stephen Bronk. I'm a soloist here at the Deutsche Oper in Berlin, and I've been here for 13 years now, and singing professionally for a good 42 years. And I'd like to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about the support system and breathing, and to offer you a couple of exercises to help to activate both of them. So I'm going to take here a little something to help. So I've got a balloon and I filled it with air, which basically is what happens when you inhale. Okay, air comes in through through the larynx into your lungs, is pulled in by the diaphragm descending, and so you can imagine that this is kind of what happens when your lungs fill with air and your body expands, or your thorax here, down here with the abdominals, when the diaphragm contracts, okay? And of course we have this wonderful Now the reason I'm showing this to you is not because this is how our vocal cords operate. They're much finer tuned than that. And as you can imagine here, what's happening is the air is escaping when I open up the nozzle. The air is escaping because the balloon is trying to come back to its original shape, and it's forcing the air through. And by doing so, if I do this, then I can control the flow of air. The reason I'm showing you also is because obviously if we had some kind of something around this part of the balloon that could keep it from returning to its shape, or let's say slow down that process, then we have something that is akin to our support system. The support system is there to have an even flow of air and to give you the support that you need in order to regulate the flow of air as you are singing. Okay. As I said, the vocal cords, they can function like this if you want to try it out, but it's not exactly the way things work. But we will get into that at a later date. Okay, so the support system. Again, I'd like to just reiterate some of the things that I talked about in the earlier installments. One thing that I said was that training the muscles for singing requires coordination, not strength. Of course, we aim for well-coordinated muscle groups to help us with the breathing, and these have to have some form of endurance because we'll be singing for 20 minutes, 30 minutes on end, and muscles tend to get tired the more you use them. So we do want to have exercises that help us not only to coordinate, but also to strengthen the muscle groups for the endurance that we will need. So let me just give you a couple of pointers here also. For the support system to work well, you want to be taking low breaths. Now, of course, air comes into the lungs. The lungs are here. So what do I mean by a low breath? Well, as I said in an earlier installment, one of the things that's very important is the body centering. So you want to get your body centered well, and you want your shoulders down, okay? Not by pushing them down, but just taking the weight of your arms and letting that help you to keep those shoulders down. Another thing I said was that it's important to project with the breastbone, okay? Now, any of you who have done any kind of dancing, classical, know that any dancer will never stand like this unless, of course, it's part of the direction. But there's always this feeling that they're projecting out with their breastbone, okay? This is very important. There's not tension involved in doing that. It's just a little thing like this, and what it does is it opens up this whole area and it gives you a better posture, okay? So a low breath, we don't want, for instance, we don't want the chest to rise when we're breathing in for various reasons. The collarbones here rise. You begin to have tension in the side of your neck here because of the bunching of your shoulders. The collarbones, as I said, there are muscles connected to the larynx from your collarbone that will not be able to help you in lowering the larynx. As I said, we'll get into that at a later date, but in order to not come into these difficulties, it's very important that we learn how to breathe in without raising the shoulders, without raising the chest, and get into the support system by breathing into the support system. Okay. So, for instance, if you're just standing there, all right, and you decide, I'm going to breathe out. So you start breathing out. And you keep breathing out. Keep going, keep going. You'll notice your abdominals will begin to contract and begin to get pretty hard here. More you breathe out, okay? And really go to the limit here, okay? And now, let the abdominals relax and breathe in. And you see how you get into low breathing that way. And this will connect you immediately also with what you will be needing later in the support system, okay? So it's breathing out really to the limit, feeling how your abdominals are contracting, and then letting them go when you breathe in, and you can feel the difference. What we want to be doing, of course, is actively breathing in, because we will actively be breathing out by singing. So this is a question of conditioning the muscles to do so. And I have to look at my cheat sheet here. Okay, the other thing, just to be clear also, to avoid is overextension of the abdominal area. You don't want to be pushing out when you breathe in, okay? Overextending this part of your body. This will not help you in any way, and it only leads to more tension, more than you will need. It's perfectly all right to just let the breath come in and see how much you actually need, because a lot of people tend to think, oh, I have to take a big breath if I have a long phrase. Not really, because all you need is enough air to turn the air into sound, and you need the support system to help you sing a long phrase, not the air, all right? So you want to avoid overextending the abdomen, you want to avoid raising the chest, and you want to avoid anything that will cause a lot of tension, okay? Tension, or let's say what I said last time about energizing the body, you will of course feel, once you breathe in actively, there's this readiness now for the body to do something with that. All right, this is not tension. This is just energy. All right, tension would be if you got stuck somewhere, and we don't want that at all. Okay, so the abdominal muscles relax when you breathe in. All right, and the only abdominals that contract when you start breathing out are the lower abdominals. I showed you last time how you can find that space or that place by coughing and then going further down. I said about where your belt would be, but for some people maybe it's a little lower than that even, okay? where you notice that the abdominals actually kick out instead of contracting. So what the support system will do for us is it will even the air pressure, and we can begin to control the air pressure with the support system. Not like in the balloon where you're just doing it by squeezing the nozzle here, but by the muscles that work together to do so. So let me show you a couple of exercises. You can do these, no problem. It would of course be better if you had somebody to take a look at what you're doing and to be able to analyze and see whether you're in control of this or if you're doing something wrong. But this is a very simple one. It's I have a candle here. I'm not going to blow it out, but if you can imagine, you start breathing out on F, on the F sound, okay? And you just start breathing out very relaxed here in the jaw, okay? And then you blow out a candle. You think of, if you had a candle in front of you and you wanted to blow that out, so you would go, right? You give it a good blast. You'll feel how everything here kind of kicks out when you do so, all right? Now the idea behind this exercise is to coordinate these things, okay? Obviously you will not be using air like that when you're singing, but we're working on coordinating and strengthening the muscle groups of the support. So you start out like this, blowing out on F, give it a blast, and then immediately, because the abs will come in like this, okay, you relax and breathe in again and start the process again. So what this looks like is something like this. Okay, so the most important part is, as you can see, my shoulders were not involved in this whole thing. I'm getting enough air. I'm not hyperventilating. Okay, so I'm not trying to get as much air as possible in and getting as much air as possible out. The idea is to get the muscles involved and get them working together. Okay, that's one of these exercises. Another one is to basically, once you've found how to breathe into this area here, what you want to be doing then is just, again, with the jaw very, very loose, okay? And just bring your teeth together enough to make a shh, shh sound. No tension here, okay? No tension here, just very loose and very low sound, okay? And you start breathing out in waves. So you breathe in, you will notice how the abs come in, the abs go out, every time you take a breath. And what you want to be doing is extending this period as you're breathing out to a longer and longer period. Another one is to close up here a little more and to do a sharp S sound. And it's basically the same idea, not to get tight in the jaw, okay, but to go okay, just in waves like this. The larynx might want to get involved in this, but this you do not want to have, okay? You want to keep the larynx, just keep it out of it. Keep everything up front here, okay? And the larynx does not control the flow of air, all right? Let the support system take care of that part. So no big blockage here, okay? And very, very, kind of very relaxed here and a lot of energy in this part. Another one that's kind of is very interesting and very good exercise is to take a breath. Take your phone or a watch or something to time and just very, very lightly purse your lips, okay? And start exhaling very, very slowly, as if you're playing with the flame, but without blowing it out, okay? So this would look like, you won't be able to see much right now, but you take a breath and you go like this. I can show you with the candle, okay? Here we go. And on, okay? Very important in this exercise is, once you get to the very, very end, where you feel like I cannot breathe out anymore, you can take a breath, okay? But before you do so, swallow. This will guarantee that your larynx does not get involved in this exercise, okay? So at the very end, you're out of air, everything's gotta, oh, I can't do it anymore. And then you swallow before you take another breath. And then try it again. You'll see maybe you'll have like 20 seconds in the first try. Second try, you'll already go up to like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and who knows, maybe you'll go over a minute at some point. This is a very good exercise for regulating the flow of air. So next time, what I'd like to do is show you how these exercises help you for phonation. We will start getting into this part of the singing process. And I look forward, as always, to your questions, to your suggestions, to your comments. And until the next installment, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you then.